Okay dudes, so today part number 2, how to film skateboarding. I have Jake with me. He is kind enough to film me today, and today I'm gonna show you some hands-on tips how to film skateboarding. And as I already said in the last video, this thing is probably your best friend if you want to film lines. Yeah, and I think especially filming lines is something that is not very easy, but it's really fun if you know how to do it. Now the main problem for especially beginners is when you're filming, you're really shaky. So to get rid of that, always try to hold the camera in your hands with 2 hands. If you're filming a stationary shot, like not a line, then try to put your camera against your body to give it an extra point of stabilization. That helps out a lot if you just try to hold it with 2 hands, not just like do it with 1 hand. It's not a gun. So always use 2 hands like Jake's doing it right now. So when you're filming a line, this thing comes really in handy. And if you hold something like this, I don't have a second camera, so let's just pretend that is my camera. The camera is placed here. You hold it like this, and when you're filming skateboarding, always try to be as low as possible, because as the closer you are to the ground, the bigger things look. And also, if you're filming a line and you're moving right at the bottom, everything looks faster because you're closer to the ground. I already made a video about that, the fisheye lens video. So try to film as low as possible, and if you film with a fisheye lens, try to tilt it a little bit up. Next thing, also very important, framing. How to frame your shot. Very important when you're filming. Always try to keep the filmer in the center. That is for different reasons. The first reason, it looks nice. The second reason is if you're later on, so if you're filming vertical and later on you don't know for which platform you're going to use the clip, if the skater's in the center, you have different options. You can crop it square, which is perfect for Instagram. You can even crop it vertical. I know you have a little bit image loss, quality loss, because the pixels are getting blown up, but I do that all the time for my Instagram stories. But if the skater's not in the center of the frame, it makes it really hard. You have to adjust afterwards, and it takes a lot of time. So always try to keep the skater in the center of the frame, like Jay does it with me right now. Not let the skater be at the side or the other side, always in the center. That's really important. So also, the most important thing, rule number 1 for framing when you're filming skateboarding, never cut off the skateboard. If you cut off the skateboard, the shot is basically ruined. It looks really terrible. Yeah, like he did right now. He cut off my skateboard. But thankfully we're not filming a line. Don't cut off the skateboard. But don't do this. I mean, the skateboard is in the frame, it's not cut off, but you can't see my head. There's so much room in the bottom here. You see this here? Down here. Where is it? You see this here? There's so much room here. And my head is cut off. So always try to keep the skateboard, the wheels at the bottom of the frame. Now I'm in the shot and the skateboard is also in the shot. So this is perfect framing of the shot. You have my skateboard not cut off, the wheels that are at the bottom of the frame. I am totally in the shot. You can tilt a little bit further up if you want to raise the camera a little bit. That's perfect, but for this it's great. Okay, oh fuck. So now, filming lines. So the most important thing, if you're the filmer and you're filming a line, you have to be safe in your skateboard. There are tips for filmers. They use bigger wheels and wider boards, because it's easier to just ride the board. And if the wheels are bigger, it doesn't make too much sound. Also, like softer wheels, great for filming. But you can use a normal board too, that's just fine. So how do you actually film? You have the camera in your hand, you have all your pressure on your front leg, you try to keep your center as low as possible and tilt the camera upwards. When you're framing the skateboarder, there is one rule of thumb: never film his butt. So always try to film the skater from the front, so you see his face and not his butt, because you don't. If you film the butt, it's called a butt shot, and it's really ugly. It doesn't look nice. So always try to film the skateboard from the front, with lines and with everything in general. So now you might ask, so what should I do if the skater does a 180? Ding. So what should you do when, so one of you might ask, what should I do if a skater does a 180 and you land switch and then I get a butt shot? So in my opinion, it's the landing is more important than the actual popping of the trick. So if I flip somebody and he does a 180, I'll try to film his butt first when he pops the trick, and then when he lands, I'll film his face. Because when you're landing a trick and you're doing this here, it doesn't look nice. So always try to film his face when he lands the trick. Now let's put all those advices into practice. I'm gonna film Jake, I'm gonna film a line with him. I'm gonna do both with 2 ways, the bad way and the good way, just so you see the comparison. So Jake, you have a line for me?
No.
Nah? Okay, that was now my hands-on tips how to actually film skateboarding. So thank you, Jake, for filming. Yeah, and I hope you'll tune in next week for part number 3, because now we have the clips. Now we have to edit them to make them look nice. So see you next week. Peace out.
Peace.
Bye.